we received a number of phone calls from senior United States officials, and the message we gave to all these countries was exactly the same. We are not interested in war. We were just conducting retribution for a terrorist attack. If they stop, we stop. If that message was then in turn conveyed by such countries to Pakistan,
I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade.
we can only speak to the contacts that our government had. We received a number of phone calls from senior United States officials and also from senior officials of other countries, of France, of UAE, of Saudi Arabia, and so on. And the message we gave to all these countries was exactly the same. We are not interested in war. We were just conducting retribution for a terrorist attack. If they stop, we stop. If that message was then in turn conveyed by such countries to Pakistan, it may well have had an effect in persuading Pakistan to stop, knowing that their stopping would also mean India would stop. So it's possible that that's what happened. But certainly there was no sort of active process of mediation that we are aware of, certainly nothing involving us, because we never intended to begin with, from the very first day when the first terror strikes, the anti-terror strikes took place on the night of the 7th of May, the next morning we gave a public briefing to the world, televised, saying that we have no desire to prolong this. If Pakistan retaliates, we will retaliate. If Pakistan stops, we will stop. That was our consistent position every day. So there was no change. They stopped, we decided to stop. We are not the belligerent power in this particular equation. Indus Waters Treaty was one that was offered by India to Pakistan in early 1960s in a spirit of goodwill and harmony. In fact, those words occur in the preamble of the treaty. Sadly, that goodwill has been repeatedly betrayed by the terrorist actions of the last 4 decades. Even though we have had terrorism and war inflicted on us, the treaty has remained in place. But this time, our government has placed the treaty in abeyance, which means it is in effect suspended. Its operations are suspended until such time as we get satisfactory indication from Pakistan that they are prepared to conduct themselves in that spirit of goodwill that is provided for in the preamble of the treaty. We are very conscious that we have been a generous neighbor when it comes to the operation of the treaty. We are an upper riparian state. We have given Pakistan very generously the waters that they are entitled to under the treaty, and we have not even used all the waters we are entitled to under the treaty. But the time for acting on the basis of goodwill unilaterally is frankly no longer with us. We feel that goodwill is a two-way street, and Pakistan must also show that it is capable of acting in good faith before we have an opportunity to resume the full operations of the treaty. Let me add one more thing. For several years now, even before this particular problem arose, India has been requesting dialogue with Pakistan on the treaty because of numerous factors that have developed since the treaty was concluded 65 years ago. One very important factor is climate change. Global warming has meant that the glaciers in the Himalayas are melting. There will soon be an increase in water flow, but it will then be followed with a reduction in water flow as the glaciers change. We need to talk about this and take measures and steps for it. Secondly, there has been significant demographic change. The usage of water in Pakistan is, broadly speaking, now unsustainable because of the number of people drawing water from the Indus. There has also been technological change. The restrictions placed in the treaty reflect the dam engineering technologies of the 1950s. Today, there are new sophisticated technologies available, which would make it possible for us to have modifications which do not harm anybody's interests, but which would enable both sides to have more water used. All of these things, India has been requesting dialogue with Pakistan under the provisions of the treaty, but Pakistan has refused to cooperate and talk to us. So we would suggest that Pakistan first take active steps to dismantle the infrastructure of terrorism and show the goodwill we're looking for. And second, that they also engage with us seriously at the level of experts on all these issues. These are issues which certainly cannot be ignored with the passage of time.